This is the future.
Today is May 13th, 2024. It is actually close to 2 o'clock, 1:57 to be exact. So there are a couple things I would like to go back to. So during the outing, since Harry went to the UK for the Invictus 10-year anniversary, and they went to Nigeria, there have been a lot of tweets, a lot. When I say a lot of tweets to go over, but I was so busy trying to put the current information out to you guys, and I will not have time to keep on recording and then do those things because I'm the only one who's running the channel. But one thing I want to go back to is this video. First, okay, this is the background of this channel because this is where I'm going on putting the video, and it reached 1,000 subscribers. And apparently over the weekend, it got into the monetization program. And then before the weekend was over, they took it out because some of the things, the short videos that I was sharing with you, they claim, copyright things or whatever. But one thing that I always do before I put anything out, okay, I made sure restriction, everything. I'm saying UK. YouTube will be okay with it. Okay, so when I look at the short videos, restriction, nothing, absolutely nothing wrong. So I made them public, and I manipulated a little bit the same way where I put some stuff. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna leave it in until I think they give me, what's the earning, where is it? See, this is the restriction that they put. So they say I could appeal it until June 3rd. So I'm just gonna wait and then let it be, and then once I edit the videos, remove them, and then I'll reapply. That's all I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna fight them with anything. The main thing is I wasn't expecting to get any money off of it anyway. Okay, I just wanted to keep you guys up to date. All right, so with that being said, let's go on Twitter. All right, so there have been a lot of videos. Let me pause. This is why I usually put screenshots when I put videos, and then I said pay attention to the audio only. So that's what I will be doing in here. But this is one of the videos that were out there, and I never got a chance to actually listen to it and see what Harry was saying. This is one of the important videos that were out there. And if I have time, if I have the energy, there's other things, a lot of other videos I would like to go over. There's this. I put a screenshot of this when he was, someone made a comparison with him and Harry. So I put that out. So I have a list of all of these videos here. Okay, maybe I want to go over them, depending on how I feel after I do this one. Okay, so let's get started. All right, finally watch the I Am 10 IGF conversation. It's so inspiring. A cheeky joke from Prince Harry, also a little idea stolen from the Americans and made bigger and better. It's not often you can say that. All right, so with all the derangers out there who keep on saying, they make all sort of excuses. And I've always said, Harry never shied away from it. And then the American embrace Harry for what he has done with their ideas. Okay, it was never about the competition who's gonna make it better. I think what happened, unlike the UK, it will have to be someone who has money, who have the influence in the US, who could have done what Harry has done. But Harry, on the other hand, this is what he grew up in, and he saw it, and then that's why he made it that way. But the US, they kept it within the military community, and they did that for themselves. But they are so busy to, they won't have time to make it what Harry has made it. It will take a special person to actually do that. So, which is what Harry did. All right, so let's get going. And this is 5 minutes, and the next one is 10 minutes. So that will be one video by itself. Okay, so let's get started. Screenshot in between, okay?
Thank you so much. Where are you going to sit? You go here, go here. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you all. Oh, thank you very much indeed. And how are you? It's nice. It's nice.
First, in one of the videos when I was showing sometime last week, and one of the rangers said, "Oh, look at this. There's not a lot of people there." I don't know. In terms of numbers, this is what they care about, but they don't care about the quality of things. And one of the things I said, that was even before I came across this video, is that I said, maybe they invite important people that needs to be there. Why will they invite the rangers who's going to trash them anyway? All right, so let's get going.
Isn't it? I feel a bit like I should go forwards. Better? Better? Much more comfortable than BBC Breakfast sofa. Great to see you all. Thank you so much. And of course, Prince Harry, we have to start with you. You are behind all of this. It's your inspiration. 10 years on, it's got to feel like a bit of a moment, hasn't it?
Okay, there it is again, the introduction of Harry. That's his baby. This is the thing that he did. All right? He created it.
Yes, I think it's much more interesting to hear it from Keith's perspective when I called him 10 years ago and he thought he just retired and was hanging up his boots and had less to do, not more to do. But no, it's 10 years is a real thing. It's our birthday at Invictus Games Foundation, and we're all very excited and thrilled. And this really is sometimes you can look back and go, look at what we've done, but also given the state of the world, there is so much more to do. And I think there's a lot of uncertainty, but what we've created is this global community amongst so many of us with this shared journey of healing, not just for the individuals, but for their families as well. So what started as a little idea, actually stolen from the Americans.
There it is.
And made bigger and better.
There it is. You see? He'd never shine away from it. Okay? The idea from the Americans, and he made it bigger and better.
It's not often you can say that. But what started as a small idea has grown and grown and grown for numerous different reasons and purposes.
Let's take you back about that moment when you decided to steal this. You went to the Warrior Games, didn't you, in 2013? And just take us through that. You saw what was happening and you thought, right, okay, there's something really special here. Tell us what was your thought process?
Well, the key to that, everybody in this room knows the reasons why, but it's sport. Sport was the magic that I witnessed, and having just come back from Afghanistan myself, seeing the wounded, injured and sick, and seeing the effect this was having on all the families, and just the weight, the load on defense and on the individuals and on the rehabilitation programs, there just wasn't enough being done. And at the same time, not enough celebration, recognition of those sacrifices that were being made. So to be in Colorado Springs, Nick, where are you? Nick's here. Nick was instrumental in making that happen, as was Jamie LP, who's also in the room as well, which is just, again, epic to see so many people who've been on this journey for so long. But I was up in Colorado Springs, and I saw one of the things that really stands out for me was watching Ivan Castro on a bicycle. Ivan is completely blind.
Wow.
On a bicycle crossing the finish line to cheers from a few family members and about, I guess, 3 or 4 members of the media. By the way, he was on a tandem bicycle, just so we're all absolutely clear.
Do you know what? You had me there. Was it you talking to me?
Yeah, it was just you. And to see the smiles, to see the impact, to see the change and the effect that sport was having on these people's lives was quite literally transformative. And I actually just thought it was a real shame that it was tucked away here in Colorado Springs on an Air Force base for no one else to be able to witness and see.
Yeah.
Firstly, for the families themselves.
That's because in terms of someone who is somewhat as powerful as Harry to take it out, to make it what Invictus is. And there comes Harry. He saw it, and then he did it. Because in terms of politics, people doing this, let's say if, for instance, the military was doing this, they will have to get funding from the government. Okay, it will have to go through how do you call this, the Senate, the House, and then you have all these politicians doing all of this. So they just keep it within the military, and instead of making it globally. And then they probably, just like they invited the UK to participate, you know, Harry, who is somewhat neutral, he's a humanitarian. He could be neutral in this, could bring all, you know, all sort of countries to participate in it. But if, for instance, the US was doing that, they will not be able to allow other countries they have fought wars with into that. So you could see why it stayed within the US military sort of things, the Warriors game, and then they invite their allies to come and participate. But I just don't see, if the military was running this, and to invite other people they have fought in the battlefield into that. That would be like some sort of a traitor kind of thing. All right, but someone who is neutral, like Harry, humanitarian, can do what he's doing with the games. So let's continue.
But also for the world's media, because again, what I'd seen on the battlefield and what I was seeing now were role models. And I just really wanted to do everything that I could to be able to help create a larger platform for more individuals, and to be able to really celebrate their stories.
I'll come back to you in a bit, because you've already talked about one of your highlights, but I'll let you think a bit about what are your highlights, and, you know, because I know you've seen let's talk now a little bit about the real impact of change it can have on individuals, and you must talk to people like...
And then also, I'm sorry I stopped right in between. The thing that the media in the UK is trying to make this, you know, like little kids type of talking point, where they want to remove the Invictus from Harry and then to give to another royal family and whatever. And then you have Charles, for instance, removing a whole bunch of other charities from under the royal family. And then he stayed, I believe, 669 charities, to be exact. That's the number. I remember, because I remember saying they turned the last 6 into a 9 instead of having 666. But the thing is that the UK, the royal family, in terms of patronages, they really don't take it serious. It's just a front for the public so they could get the money that they're receiving. But they're playing games with things that real people, where it's affecting real people. So removing that from Harry, which they can't because this is Harry's baby, you know, to give it to someone who doesn't give a shit about anything. But anyway, let's continue. Let me move it slightly because she started in the middle of a sentence.
Their stories.
I'll come back to you in a bit, because you've already talked about one of your highlights, but I'll let you think a bit about what are your highlights, and, you know, because I know you've seen let's talk now a little bit about the real impact of change it can have on individuals, and you must talk to people like... I can't keep a minute, I promise. You must have a real sense of that. People must come up to you with really serious stories that move you.
I think I'm not the only one. I think there's plenty of people in this room, again, everyone who's worked and continues to work for the foundation since 2014. I've had mums, I've had dads, I've had grandparents, I've had kids come up, hug my leg, and thank me and thank us at the foundation for bringing daddy back, for helping mummy out. Like, it's a real thing, and I think, you know, to everybody in this room, every single person in this room has been part of that. It doesn't.
There it is.
One person.
Okay, every single person in the room have been part of it. They don't invite derangers to come in here, so it was a selective group. And the other thing that I was just saying, it has real effect in real people's lives. So the royal family and the tabloid are just playing games to distract people for whatever it is that they're doing that will put more soldiers into Invictus. Okay? Because all they care about, the royal family and the media, they care about money. Meanwhile, they're disturbing other countries with their, you know, normal lives and their state of situation. Because envy, they want what those other countries have so they could put in their pocket. By doing that, by having this type of envy, they're using the soldiers to go do their dirty work for them, and then they paint a picture of something completely different for the soldiers to fight for them. This is something very serious, people. what politicians are doing. They paint a picture of something completely different. Meanwhile, it's just that they're sending the soldiers to go do their dirty work for them so they could go and pillage the country. I mean, it has been going on. My God. But let's continue.
It's not a few people, it's everybody. And again, that community spirit has really just lifted everybody up. And it's been such a privilege and an honor to be connected to all these people who, you know, some are still wearing the uniform, some aren't. But the effect that you see it has on the family is quite addictive, to be honest.
Wow, it's quite addictive. So that actually inspired him even more to make the Invictus better. So this is part 2. Okay, special thanks to Sophie Shannon for putting this together. Give her a follow. Okay, so let's listen to that. This one is 10 minutes. Again, screenshot, all right? I don't want to be... Anyway, when I put this on my channel, it's not going to be monetized anyway. So there's that.
And I think as collectively, again, this is preaching to the converted here, but as long as everybody around the world understands that to me is the biggest thing that we can do, because yes, then comes the experiences, then comes the opportunities of which you know, the Invictus Games Foundation isn't just about the games; it's about all the other days of the year that we have to, and we provide opportunities, adventure training, sporting activities, whatever it is, but experiences for the individual, but also for their families as well, so that they can do the things that they loved doing before, and actually proving that those things are still possible.
And this is the thing that I said in one video without even hearing him saying it, because I've seen some of the posts that Invictus has put out on Twitter. You know, when there's, for instance, I spoke about the 5-bow bike tour in New York. So they're always trying to stimulate the soldiers to participate in different things. It's not just about the Invictus Games. It's just that they want them to be better, and they provide them with all sort of help, you know, to continue. They don't just focus on the games only. Okay, so Harry just touched bases on that.
We're going to run out of time shortly, but I want to look ahead. So we're celebrating 10 years, and I'm going to ask you, Ken, first, just because you're furthest away. Looking to the next 10 years, what would you like most? What would you like to see happen?
Well, first, I'd like to not build another Fisher House, because it's not necessary. That's not realistic, because as long as there's people wearing the uniform, men and women wearing the uniform, there's always going to be a need.
You see? This is
I think as far as...
This is the thing that I was saying. If William wants to compete with Harry, okay, and don't want the Invictus to be as big as that, okay, this is not to say I don't want Invictus to be there. Is that he could advocate for no wars. No war. If there isn't any war, guess what? You won't have soldiers who have, you know, all sort of disabilities, and they will need Invictus. So Fisher House is, you know, let's look it up. I think I did a video about Fisher House. Let's look what Fisher, because this is what he just mentioned. Fisher House. What is Fisher House? Okay, Fisher House Foundation builds comfort home where military and veteran families can stay free of charge while a loved one is in the hospital. You see, they probably have other kind of things that that is doing similar things. Okay, let's see here. Our mission is to provide no-cost lodging to service members, veterans, and their families so they can focus on what matters, healing. Okay, so he has his reason. So let's get back to this. Let's continue. The thing that I was saying regarding not having Invictus for William, when there's gonna be a war, when politicians are talking about having wars and all of that, find a way to be the middleman. Go talk to people, okay? Instead of, you know, yelling at each other. You know, politicians have their own mission, their own ideas of what they want to get out of from that particular country. Okay, so to prevent wars and to prevent Invictus from growing, put your hat in there and said, let's not do this. Let's find another way. Let's talk it out or something like that. And if William is about peace, maybe he's that. But he doesn't like to take any criticism. once they start, he opened his mouth, they're gonna tell him go take care of his issues with his brother. But anyway, let's continue. So he said no more Fisher House, and I just look it up. What Fisher House does is to provide homes for military family members while the soldiers, their loved one, is going through treatment. Okay, so let's continue with that.
Sorry. That's not realistic, because as long as there's people wearing the uniform, men and women wearing the uniform, there's always going to be a need. But I think as far as we're concerned, we would like to see the family and friends remain in the front and center, if you will. That the value that they bring to the healing process is not only told, but people need to understand exactly what that means. People hear the words, but they don't. Too many people don't understand because they don't see it for themselves. I wish everybody can come to an Invictus Games and see the power of adaptive sporting, and to see the power that the family and friends have and what they bring to the table. You know, the United States is the only nation, to my knowledge, that has a VA, a Veterans Administration. So it becomes even more critical, you know, for other countries with wounded veterans to not only be able to take care of those men and women, but also take care of their families and acknowledge what their families have done, because, as the Duke said before, the entire family serves.
Wow,
Thank you
that's very
much.
interesting.
Keith Mills, your
The VA is Veteran Affairs. It's part of the federal government kind of an agency. It helps veterans with, I guess, healthcare benefits, and I think I'll look it up, but I think they also help them with, let's say, if a vet passed away, they will bury them and stuff like that. So there's a lot of things that the Department of Veteran Affairs do for veterans. From his knowledge, he's in the game, so I don't know. Not game, but he's in the mix of things, so he knows what he's talking about. And you see, even in that aspect as well, this has become some sort of a tug of war with politicians not funding it. Some people are saying how bad the condition is and all of that. So this is why Invictus had to be done by someone outside. Okay, so.
Well, actually, we were talking just before we came in here about the team and what the next 10 years looks like. And actually, all the people in this room can contribute to shaping the next 10 years. But for sure, the problem that Prince Harry identified 10 years ago still exists, and conflict, sadly, around the world continues to grow.
Oh, you see, this is the thing that I'm saying. Conflicts, things that's still going on. This is the counteract of Invictus. If William wants to be in competition with Harry, he just have to do the opposite of what Invictus is doing. It is to not create wars. So you don't have the need for people to be in Invictus. There he is, he's saying it, but in a different way. Okay, so he's saying there's still conflicts around the world, which is true.
Years looks like, and actually all the people in this room can contribute to shaping the next 10 years. But for sure, the problem that Prince Harry identified 10 years ago still exists.
That's right.
And conflict, sadly, around the world continues to grow. And who will know what's going to happen in Europe or elsewhere in the world in the next 10 years. But for sure, the way that we look after veterans, those that have served, and their families is going to be increasingly important. And I think the Invictus Games Foundation has an incredibly important part to play in providing the support that, frankly, in some countries, it just it's not even on the radar. You know?
Wow.
If you go to many countries around the world, looking after those that have served their country just doesn't feature. If you get injured, then you're on your own.
That's right.
That's something I think globally we'd like to change.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is the thing that I'm saying. When there is no conflict, you won't need Invictus. But they use those men and women and then once they get injured, they discard you. And this is where Harry come in and pick them up and said, you're still useful. So like he's saying here, there's still conflicts going on. Who knows how Invictus will be? When he said everyone in this room has a part of how Invictus will be shaped in the next 10 years, it's because of us, how we vote. How we vote to represent us. Are these people about peace or war? Because when you look at politicians, their discussion, they blind people with lies, and then they want you to vote for them. Meanwhile, once they get the power, you give them, because you vote for them to be in that position, and then they abuse the power to do their own dirty things, whatever it is that they're doing. So again, I was right, but he said it in a different, more professional way, I would say. I don't know what professional, but in a more concrete manner. It is up to us how Invictus is shaped based on how we vote. Okay, so let's continue.
Look, I've said this over and over again over the years, every single time I've been asked a similar question, which is, how long does Invictus go on for? And the answer to that is, for as long as it's serving a purpose.
That's right.
I would love to, more than anything, and the people in this room go, what does he say? But I would love more than anything to be able to put this in a box.
You see?
Put it on the shelf and let that box be covered in dust because we don't need it anymore.
I've said this in a different way. And then each time I say it, I try not to be in a negative way, or people who have the mind somewhere else to think that I don't mean well for the Invictus. Because there is war. If war continues, then Invictus will still need to be there to help pick up those people up. And this is why I said, if William wants to put heavy, stop the Invictus, he has to do the opposite. Okay, talk to different countries and, stop conflicts. Okay, so that's that.
As we all in this room understand, probably more so than most, that's just simply not the case. And I'm a big fan of trying to solve the root cause of a problem.
Thank you.
Root cause of the problem is conflict, and
that's it.
I can't fix that.
You
so
see?
we will always be here to be able to spread the message, tell the stories, change the perspectives, and help as many people as humanly possible. Because Invictus transcends borders, it transcends politics. It is what it is. There's this magic within this community that exists. So the next 10 years, I think there's going to be more people coming through. There's going to be more countries that are going to join, and then the other countries' numbers will probably reduce. Back in 2014, the Team UK and Team USA was up in the 130s. It's now sort of half that number. We cap our competitors at 550 strong. If there are people in this room who want to really come in with a big number of funding, then we can probably increase that. But then
okay, so that's the thing here. So at the beginning, because of conflicts that the US and the UK have been, and then they were part of the beginning of Invictus. So they had a lot of participants. But now, as Invictus growing, more countries are coming in. So therefore, those huge numbers the US and the UK have will reduce to make room for the newcomers. So I understand what he's saying here. So now, if there is more money coming in for Invictus, so their numbers could expand, and then will provide more special help for those people who are participating. So I get it. All right. So there have to be a balance somewhere. They have a capacity. They have the amount of money for certain things, a number of people. So they have to put a cap to it. So in order to allow other countries to come in, so those who have large numbers like the US and the UK will be reduced, and then bring in the other countries. Okay. So like he's saying, Invictus, don't look into politics, don't look into many other things. So they just a humanitarian cause. All right, so they bring countries in no matter your situation. But let's continue with their respective countries.
That means that the games go beyond a week, and then everything else starts becoming much longer and bigger. But just building off again what Sir Keith just said, Nigeria is a classic example. A country that joined, the first African nation that joined us last year, had no form of sport rehabilitation really whatsoever until they saw Invictus and started building their own program. They've been in conflict for 15 years.
Wow.
But no one knows that. No one talks about that. They've got thousands of wounded. And now, and then also we're talking about Ukraine, and they've got hundreds of thousands of wounded. And the stigma on wounded in both those two countries is off the charts. And that to me is it's not just the conflict and the injuries, it's the recovery journey and what they're up against. They're up against it from a physical perspective, they're up against it from a mental perspective, but they're also up against it from a societal perspective. So whatever we can do within the foundation, building on what we've already created, but also relying on the very individuals that have healed themselves throughout this process. I just caught eye with JJ. JJ in 2014, JJ was questioning whether he would come to the Invictus Games or not because he thought it might be an egg and spoon race. It wasn't, and I'm really glad that you joined us. And you won medals, which was great as well. But again, perception, perspective, we all in this room have a continued service to play. And I think that is what we're doing.
Nice to see you, JJ, by the way. We've worked together as well. And we're going to speak to Dean from Nigeria a little bit later. Is there anything you want to say something? Come on.
Just real quick, you know, in the United States, a couple of years ago, it was estimated that almost 20 to 22 servicemen and women were committing suicide every day.
Wow.
There was a stigma around psychological health that we have gone a long way towards eliminating. But forums like the Invictus Games, where people can see what is possible if they take that first step forward, becomes so critical, not only for their health, but for their families' mental and psychological health as well. So that's not to be underestimated. So that's why the Invictus Games needs to continue. It's why what we do in this room needs to continue, because one service person who commits suicide is one service person too many.
Wow.
Thank you. We're going to come to the end, but I did ask for your highlight. Can you give us a little bit of your favourite sort of magic? You mentioned the magic, a magic moment that makes you smile.
It probably hasn't changed. Still, it has to be the beginning. 2014.
Yeah. In
the Copper Box. I was at the DJ decks, trying to choose some of the music and put the lights on and just get people on their feet. And is Guy in the house? Guy Monson, are you here? No? Well, we're having dinner at his place later, so he'll definitely be there. But Guy basically never...
That small little thing he said here. Guy, we're going to have some lunch or dinner later. The tabloid in the UK took it to another level. It's unbelievable. So when many of these people, Meghan, Harry, or any of them talking, this is why they have to be very careful with what they say, because the tabloid take it to a different level. I forgot the nonsense that they wrote, but I came across it last week. This is a week after this interview was done. Okay? Nigeria visit already done as I'm recording right now. Okay? So, yeah, a lot of things went on, but let's continue.
Left his seat at the Copper Box. He was there the whole time, up and down doing Mexican waves. The whole thing was absolutely incredible. But it was that final game of USA versus UK, and it was just end to end. I think it was wheelchair rugby and wheelchair basketball. And that to me was the highlight, because you had 6,000 people who had filled this stadium and were on their feet, every age from 95 to 5. And people were just literally blown away by what they were watching. We had no idea what was going to happen.
I seem to remember you were sent to the sin bin, weren't you?
That was a separate game, but yes. Thanks for yes, thank you. That was your highlight then.
Clearly.
But look, for us, I think all of us, including Keith, despite that call of bringing him out of retirement, I think we've just had a huge amount of fun. And I think I personally have learned so much from all the people that I've met, as the children, the family, the friends, and the individuals themselves, and the amount of respect and admiration that I have for all of them. just continues to build just year after year after year. And now we have these Invictus 1 year to go events as well, because to be honest with you, we can't wait 2 years. So it's just like whoever's going to host the next games, we're all going to be there 1 year ahead, and then at the games themselves. So yeah, the highlight for me is being in this community with all these people. So thank you.
Thank you very much. I think we're going to have to end it there. Thank you very much, my brilliant panel, the Duke of Sussex, Sir Keith Mills, Ken Fisher. Thank you very much indeed for your time. Thank you.
All right, so
Thank you, well done.
all right, so I came across it and I thought I share it with you.
And I think it's
Oops, let's
collectively
pause it. All right, so I'm sorry if you're seeing screenshot, but the main thing is to listen what is being said. Let's see the comments here. And then I'll create another video. What the hell? Why this is still okay? And then I'll create another video that for my other channels. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 of them that will be on probably Archewell Team Sussex or probably Archewell Team Sussex. All right, so if you can help support this channel, there's a PayPal link and a Cash App link in the description. You could donate or go check out my shop and buy some stuff and help support all 3 of those channels. All right, and those who have donated, I truly appreciate it. All right, so let's see some of the comments here. Thank you so much, Dee, for utilizing the video content I posted earlier. You have much bigger following than I do. Thank you so much. Putting it together. Okay, going to follow. Okay, so these are people who's thanking her for putting the video out. Harry's such a gentleman. Notice he doesn't sit down until the lady is seated. Oh, I didn't pay attention to that. All right, thanks at Sophie Shannon. I watch it live and we watch it. These clips makes me feel even more inspired. Proud of Prince Harry and the Invictus Games. Did the news agency film the reading at the service? Thank you. That's okay. The Warrior. Warrior was funded by the government. They can't go see, this is the thing that I was saying. There's this here. That's okay. What's DOD stand for? Warrior was funded by the government. They can't go international without tax money. That's exactly what I was saying. Yeah, because they will have to go to the Senate and then the House of Representatives. It will be a whole bunch of things. So that's why they can't go internationally. So yes, it will need someone like Harry to take it to another level. Okay, he is so cute when he is shading his hosted US. He is smart and entertaining, witty, and charming. There's a heart here. Cheeky Prince Harry is the best. I'm glad I read this comment here about the tax money. Yeah. Okay. That's that. Alright, so there's more. Oh, let's just finish it. Okay, oh dear, can't even sell tickets to table front. This is the thing here. You always have these people to come to tell their nonsense. Let me see the 4 comments underneath here. Okay, well, maybe he should get some lesson from your mother who sell her. Oh my God. Okay, so let's just block this. This is the thing here. They're talking about serious stuff, and then this is the, pre-K, kindergarten, sandbox type of talks. Okay, then took million of the veterans for his private. Oh God, there's more of this. Let's black. Okay, Man City logo. I don't know what that means, but okay, it is just me, or is it sounding more American? All right. Oh wow, what a beautiful journey. A trillion thanks to Prince Harry and all involved in making the Invictus Games what it is today for our beloved wounded warriors. Okay, so that's that. Again, please take a moment to subscribe, like, and share. If you want to support this channel, there's a PayPal link and a Cash App link in the description. You could donate. Those who have donated, thank you. As you can see on all of my channels, I don't even bother waiting for YouTube to monetize any of the thing. If you appreciate some of the thing that I'm sharing with you, you want to help support this channel, I don't even create membership on my other channels. Maybe I should. I don't know. For those who's willing to do that, who's willing to support me in that way. Maybe I'll do that, my other channels. But you don't have to do in all 3 channels. If I happen to do that, just one would be enough because it covers all 3 channels. All right, but I'm not going to tell you what to do. It's your money. You want to support the channel. You appreciate what I'm sharing with you. I'll be more than happy to take your money. But, it is there. All right, so that said, I'm gonna do another video that covers the Avengers type of talk, and that will be on APPU Team Sussex. Let me show you the first video. I really wanted to cover this. Let's do it here. This video. Okay, so that will be the first video that I cover on that other channel. Okay, so that's it. Thank you for watching.
Evolution. This is the future. This is the future. Evolution. This is the future. Evolution.
You realize once you have access or a voice that people are willing to listen to, with that comes a lot of responsibility.
We're a fantastic team. We know we are, and we hope to, over time, try and have as much impact for all the things that we care about as much as possible.
Today is April 6, 2023. It is 2:44 p.m. So I have a little bit of time, and I thought, let me get this initial video out. Whenever I have time, I'll record. So this is the first video for this channel. Well, I should say second video, because I did like an introduction in terms of what this channel will be focusing on, more in terms of background of Harry and Meghan kind of thing, and things that they have said in the past. So I decided to create this channel to focus mostly on their charitable work. I don't know which direction I'm gonna go with it, but it will be definitely focused on their charitable work. So I thought, since I have the time, let me go over their website to give a basic idea of where they're coming from. And I was looking at their website before I started recording. One of the things I was thinking of doing was to highlight each of these organizations they have helped or they're part of. Then I said, let me just read, go over their webpage, and then go over the impact report. And then maybe another video, I'll do a review of the organization.